The unofficial end to summer was pretty much a washout across central Louisiana. Heavy rain fell at times, pounding the streets and yards, and more is expected tonight and through tomorrow as Tropical Storm Gordon moves closer to Louisiana. And our first forecast is brought to you by Store It at Home, and we are seeing that there has been some rain throughout the day. It is dissipating as we move through these evening hours, and we'll continue to see the possibility of some more showers in the area as we track through these evening hours, and continuing to see these showers. Already today we've totaled up to just under a half inch in Alexandria, and really much of Louisiana did see these showers. Even Lake Charles saw an inch of rain, and we're going to continue to see it stay pretty rainy as Tropical Storm Gordon was just declared this morning. It is in the southern part of Florida and it is tracking its way into the Gulf. We're going to continue to see this strengthen over the next 48 hours and could be bringing some life-threatening things to the area. What we're seeing is there's going to be some flooding right now. So Alexandria is in this moderate area right now, so seeing moderate flooding, potential seeing up to 8 inches of rain, gusting winds up to 45 miles per hour, and some severe weather along with this. We'll take a look at Gordon here in just in a little bit.
Welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Melissa Dunbargate. Scott Beadle has the night off. Alexandria police say a 34-year-old man was killed Friday. Police were called to Bank Drive and Rosalie, where they found the victim who had been shot. He later died at the hospital. Police say the suspect wore a black mask, black shirt, and flip-flops who fled the scene before they arrived. The victim's identity is not being released at this time. The investigation continues. A Pineville police officer has been arrested in Monroe, charged with, quote, battery of a school or athletic contest official. Pineville Chief Don Weatherford says 46-year-old Sergeant Edric Smith was arrested Friday while off duty at the University of Louisiana at Monroe. The chief says they will conduct an investigation. Smith has been with the police force since 2003. More than 150 soldiers from the National Guard's 10/20th returned to their loved ones on Saturday afternoon. The soldiers were welcomed back home to a crowd of anticipated loved ones. We caught up with the wife of a soldier to get her reactions after the long-awaited 12 months.
Just to get him home safe and sound and enjoy every minute with him. Thank you for your services, 10/20th. We love you.
Many other families shared the same feeling that Robin felt. The 10/20th has deployed to Kuwait before during Operations Desert Storm and also Desert Shield, but there's nothing like returning home safe to loved ones. Today's rain washed out planned cookouts and swim parties, so instead many locals broke out their wallets this Labor Day to catch some deals at the Alexandria Mall. ABC 31's Shar Thomas stopped by to see what they had to offer.
St. locals did not let the rain get the best of them this Labor Day. Although most people usually break out the grill, that wasn't the case for some. Locals participated in retail therapy.
A lot of people, despite the rain and the weather, they realize the great Labor Day prices that are going on and the sales, and they've decided to come out and to join us here at the Alexandria Mall.
Labor Day is the biggest sale holiday next to Black Friday, so what better way to celebrate it by catching some sweet deals? However you chose to spend your extra day off, don't forget some Labor Day sales are still available the next day.
Well, our sale actually started on the 1st and it will continue through September 10th.
Shar Thomas, ABC 31 News.
Over the weekend, Huckleberry Brewing Company held a Ben Jamming Fest to help raise money for a performing arts scholarship fund at LSUA. It's in the name of Ben Rujo, who passed away last year. He was an Alexandria native and musician who touched many lives. Brewer of Huckleberry Brewing Company, Jacob Wilson, started the scholarships in his name because of his love of the arts.
He was such an advocate and like I said, an ambassador for the local area. He was went to school here. His family's here, and you know, he was an actor. He did a lot of plays in high school, and even in college he was in plays still. And he was really always proud of his local roots. So we that's the local university. So we were gonna work with them.
A plethora of musicians and bands from New Orleans, Portland, Nashville, Dallas, and Alexandria performed. There was also a gumbo cook-off competition and a silent auction to raise money for the scholarships. The Rapides Parish Library System is on a quest to get everyone to pick up the same book. The Great Gatsby is the book of choice. Carla Kirby of the Rapides Parish Library Programs stopped by to give us the details.
It's a big reading initiative that we have. It's 6 weeks long to encourage everyone in the community to read the same book. So our choice this year is The Great Gatsby.
A classic.
Yes, a classic. And we're so excited because there's so many fun programs we can do with that. So our big kickoff is at the Bentley, September 8th, which is perfect for the period. We're super excited about that. But it will be September 8th at 6 o'clock. And people can come dressed in, period costumes, flapper dresses, things like that. We will have food from the book from the time period. We'll have a swing dancer who will do a performance and then actually teach people some of the different dances.
If you would like to participate, contact a library near you. The intense battle over President Trump's Supreme Court pick begins this week. We'll have a preview out of Washington. And triple threat in the tropics. 3 storms forming, one already hitting Florida. Whether we're in line for some of this weather next on ABC 31 News.
To you, it's just an old coat, but to an underprivileged child, it's a warmer winter. Please help us collect coats for kids before the cold months get here. You can drop off new or gently used coats at a location near you. All coats are cleaned and distributed right here in your community. The KLAX Coats for Kids Drive is sponsored by First Federal Bank, Southern Heritage Bank, Bank of Montgomery, Kramer Funeral Home, LSU Alexandria, Heart of Louisiana Credit Union, and South Park Cleaners.
The intense battle over President Trump's Supreme Court pick begins this week, and it's already shaping up to be a marathon confirmation hearing. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
President Trump's Supreme Court Justice nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, will likely face a contentious confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill starting Tuesday.
I think you're going to see some really strong sets of questions from a number of us that are on the Judiciary Committee.
Kavanaugh is a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals in D.C. If he's confirmed, the Supreme Court will then have a 5-4 conservative majority for likely a decade.
Brett Kavanaugh, an extraordinary judge. A long record, 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court bench, over 300 decisions.
Some Senate Democrats are demanding to see more of Kavanaugh's records during his time inside the George W. Bush White House. Hundreds of thousands of pages have been made public, but lawyers for the former president say even though Bush signed off, the Trump administration is withholding 100,000 pages, claiming executive privilege.
I think that you could ask some very interesting questions about these documents.
Kavanaugh will likely be asked about abortion, campaign finance reform, regulatory oversight, and executive power. Democrats are also expected to press Kavanaugh to recuse himself from any cases that involve investigations against President Trump.
He chose the one person that has written that he should have immunity from any investigation and from any kind of prosecution that might result. This to me is astonishing, and not only that, it should not be allowed.
Sources familiar with Kavanaugh's prep tell ABC News it is unlikely he will recuse himself from any cases having to do with the president. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
A huge fire has engulfed Brazil's 200-year-old National Museum in Rio de Janeiro. The blaze, which broke out last night, lit up the night sky with towering flames as firefighters and museum workers raced to save historical relics. The esteemed museum houses artifacts from Egypt, Greco-Roman art, and some of the first fossils found in Brazil. No one was hurt. No word yet on what caused the fire. A South Carolina woman is facing murder charges after allegedly killing her husband by repeatedly putting eye drops in his water. ABC's Marcus Moore reports.
This is truly a bizarre case out of South Carolina. Police there say that a woman slowly poisoned her husband over the course of several days back in July, eventually killing him. Police have arrested and charged Lena Clayton with murder in the death of her husband, Stephen. He was 64 years old, and authorities have said in an arrest warrant that she slowly poisoned his water. She spiked his water with a common over-the-counter medication known as Visine. Right now, she is being held in the York County Detention Center facing that murder charge. Meantime, the victim's family says that they are shocked and mortified by what happened here. In a statement, they said that he loved his wife and that they know how much he cared for her. And of course, this is not the first time we've heard of a situation like this. Back in 2013, a woman said she poisoned her boyfriend so that he would pay more attention to her. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Dallas.
Tropical storm Gordon forms in the Gulf of Mexico, impacting South Florida. ABC's Aaron Katursky has the latest on that and other severe weather hitting the country.
With 3 tropical systems churning in the Atlantic, states along the Gulf Coast are on alert. Tropical storm Gordon formed over the upper Florida Keys, raising a warning for parts of the Keys and South Florida, where forecasters predict heavy rain. The tropical storm warning extends to Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Bad weather delayed the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert in Jacksonville. The show went on later. Rain inundated parts of the mid-Atlantic. Near Baltimore, a current of raging water threatened a man trapped in his home.
It's a mess. Never seen it like this in real life.
In central Pennsylvania, flash flooding turned roads into rivers and broke concrete into chunks.
This is the first time where we were perhaps in some danger.
There was this supercell thunderstorm in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and a dust storm in Kansas. In the Northeast, the calendars flipped to September, brought no relief from the August heat. New York City's entering a stretch of heat and humidity that will make it feel like the high 90s. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Alyssa's here now with a check of our forecast.
Yeah, we were seeing rain today. We got up to about a half an inch of rain, and we're going to continue to see those chances for some rain tonight. That high got up to 84 degrees, which is below normal, and we may see these temperatures get a little bit warmer and feel a little bit more tropical as this tropical storm Gordon does head towards us. We'll take a look at more at the tropical storm Gordon here just after the break.
This fall, the balls are back.
Oh, that was so unfair!
With all the bumps.
Are you ready to rock?
Bounces.
That did not look good.
And wacky wipeouts.
This looks really bad.
Where everyday people go daredevil crazy.
Oh my God, she made it!
In outrageous battles for big bucks.
That did not feel good.
Wipeout Weekends, coming this fall.
Saturdays on KLAX TV.
Welcome back to a look at your weather. Looking at forecasted lows for tonight, we are going to see that down in Alexandria. We'll get down to 71, but still feeling fairly humid as we're going to continue to possibly see some showers move on through tonight and even into tomorrow and throughout the remainder of the week. Those temperatures tomorrow do have the potential to get up to 90 degrees, but depending on when those showers do move in, potentially when with Gordon and what's ahead of Gordon with the showers, we may be seeing some, but there are some possibility of some sunshine to come out and feeling fairly humid across much of Louisiana as well. With those temperatures in the 90s, those feel like temperatures could be into the triple digits as well as we track through with this tropical storm moving through. Looking at Tropical Storm Gordon, we are seeing that the warning is in effect for the coastal area of Louisiana. We're also going to see that there is still the potential to see Tropical Storm Gordon turn into a Category 1 hurricane as well. The landfall expectation is looking at 2 p.m. tomorrow morning. This is just the edge of Gordon, seeing maybe some few showers moving on through and not seeing the actual eye of the tropical storm move in until the Wednesday morning. We'll see that there is rainfall estimates up to 8 inches, flash floods with those 8 inches of rain, and gusting winds expected as these do move on through. So this is currently where Gordon is. It was affecting the southern parts of Florida earlier today. We're seeing that they put out advisories yesterday around this time and then was naming Gordon a tropical storm this morning. We're going to see this is the track of it. This is Tuesday at 2 o'clock, so just outside the coastal area, and then at least by Wednesday morning we'll see the actual eye make its way into New Orleans, and then Alexandria is right on this line of seeing the central part of the eye move on through. So this is going to be affecting much of Louisiana, Mississippi, and then potentially even north of that area depending on how long Gordon does last. Looking at this forecasting map, this is a lot of that moisture that's going to be brought up, making a lot of our storms for all. As we'll see, Gordon will be making its way into the Gulf. Heavier thunderstorms are going to be off to the east for the Louisiana area, but still seeing that potential for those thunderstorms to roll through, and then seeing a lot of humidity as Gordon moves in, bringing in all that tropical moisture, making it feel fairly sticky outside throughout these next couple of days. Again, looking at this graphic right now, Alexandria is in a moderate risk to see these flooding, gusting winds, and then isolated thunderstorms with potentials for tornadoes. As when tropical storms move on through, they bring in a lot of that energy, and isolated thunderstorms can roll on through. And seeing that the coastal area also is going to be affected, even starting on tonight, seeing that the seas are going to be really rough, even beach erosions as these do move on through. So all of the coast of Louisiana is under this watch for the coast and then into the state as well. We'll see that downpours will start by Tuesday night and into Thursday, and seeing that rain is really in the forecast for us, seeing those chance of showers depending on exactly when that edge of Gordon does reach Alexandria area and when it heads through New Orleans. Temperatures will be staying into the mid-80s, but feeling fairly humid with all of these storms moving on through. So rain and windy conditions, we could see those winds again get up to 45 miles per hour and maybe even more depending on exactly where we make landfall. Seeing these showers move all the way up into the weekend, we'll see that Gordon will move out by Thursday, but then still going to be able to see that maybe some more aftermath of the behind action of Tropical Storm Gordon, even this weekend, seeing those thunderstorms and just really humid conditions for all of Alexandria and Louisiana. Back to you.
And a dog in Texas giving its owner a warm welcome.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This cute little fellow is seen jumping on its owner, Nancy Spadoni, who was deployed to Afghanistan for about a year with the Navy. The dog welcomed her home with obviously tons of affection.
Geez, I don't even have to go to Afghanistan. All I have to do is go to work and come back, and my dog is just as excited when I'm gone for 4 or 5 hours.
That's precious.
Squealing and everything.
Nothing like coming home to a dog, right? Unconditional love.
There's nothing like having to put him in his kennel either. And that's equally as bad.
It's the worst.
Tugs at your heart.
Yep.
Recently, I've been just locking her in my room so she gets more space to run around, but
there you go.
She's gotten into a couple things, so I think I have to be.
And you had to clean up a
Back
couple
to
of
the
things
kennel.
too when you come back, right?
Yeah, she's been pretty good lately. She's going on 1 year, so I'm hoping that she'll stay strong here as we move through this next year.
All right, one last check of our forecast.
I mean, again, just looking at that hurricane track, as of right now it's a tropical storm, potentially still could become a Category 1, and seeing that even some schools in New Orleans are already being canceled, and we'll keep updated with this, and even looking at the next 7 days, it's looking like we're going to be staying fairly rainy with that potential to see between 4 inches of rain up to 8 inches right now with what is expected from this hurricane. So maybe have to keep an eye on this with those temperatures feeling very sticky as well with these showers that I'll be tracking on in.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. And thanks for watching ABC 31 News. Have a great night.